Hello and welcome back to Small Screen Stories. This is the show where I go over all the news in the world of entertainment and pop culture. All these articles or stories I'm going to be talking about are actually articles over at Small Screen, which you can find at small-screen.co.uk. My name is Edward Lauder. I'm the editor of Small Screen, and this show comes to you every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. And of course, we talk about all things pop culture related, so mainly movies and TV shows, the occasional video game, and sometimes comic books, but not, well, comic books in relation to comic book movies, let's say. Right, and let's get straight into the biggest news of the day, which is that Zack Snyder's Justice League has been revealed to be R-rated. So this was actually revealed by the Film Ratings Board over in the United States. So here in the UK or in France, ratings are a bit different. So we don't have that sort of R-rated system that you have in the United States. That's better. No, what we have instead is something slightly different. So in the UK, there's like 18, which would actually be more than an R rating. I believe an R rating in the UK would be a 15. In France, it's just it's like the wild, wild west in France. It's very difficult to get things kind of rated R in France. They tend to be quite liberal with the way they with their movies, which is the way they are, and I prefer it personally, but some people don't. So according to Heroic Hollywood, they tweeted that the movie is going to be R-rated due to violence and some language, and I'm very excited that this movie has some language in it. That's a very good thing. I'm being facetious, but it's just the way I am. Right. So as for some reason, it's displaying weirdly on the live, which is weird. Why is it doing that? Let me just check Facebook. Hopefully Facebook is fine. Well, it should be. No, Facebook seems to be all right. What's going on with YouTube? YouTube is being a bit weird. Let me know in the comments if YouTube is being weird. It shouldn't be. It should be streaming fine. It's saying that there's no data, which is really weird. This is the annoying thing about live streaming, because there's always certain things that go wrong on especially YouTube. Just going to check the live stream. Oh, it seems to be fine. Right, I'll keep on going anyway. So what does this all mean? Well, it means actually the interesting thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League being R-rated is it actually means that the movie's coming out in cinemas, which is a good thing. We kind of knew that was happening before, but this is like official that it's coming, and it means that it's going to be coming out in cinemas, which is a good thing. But it's going to be 4 hours long, so that's a difficult thing. Fingers crossed it does end up coming into cinemas, because at the moment things are a bit kind of weird thanks to the pandemic, but I'm really, really hoping it does. Let me know in the comments if you're hoping it comes to the cinemas as well. Is this something you're excited to see? I know there are a lot of people out there that are really, really looking forward to seeing this movie. I am. Of course, I've said on multiple occasions I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan in the world, but all I want to see is these artists and directors get to put their vision, their initial visions onto the big screen, and it not be completely kind of marred by studio interference, which is what it happened with Justice League, and Zack Snyder never got the chance to give us his version of that, which is going to be a 4-hour-long extravaganza. Right, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Moving on to a bit of news from Giant Freaking Robot. They're saying that Zack Snyder's Justice League is rumored to kill off 2 of its superheroes. Actually, now I posted this on Twitter, and people were saying, it's going to be Cyborg, it's going to be this. I've heard Cyborg, The Flash, Batman. Some people have said. Some people have said Superman. Very few people actually came up with the 2 superheroes that Giant Freaking Robots are claiming are going to die in the movie, and that's actually Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Yeah, that's mad. The characters that are basically the only 2 characters that are now having their standalone movies, apart from The Flash, of course, but The Flash doesn't really sound like a standalone movie to me. But they're the only 2 characters to have upcoming movies. So Wonder Woman 3 is happening and Aquaman 2 is happening. So what are they doing killing them off in Justice League? Well, it's a story thing. It seems as though they're going to die in a battle of some sorts, and then the Flash is going to go back in time to try and save them. This is according to them. So they're calling it an exclusive, but again, it's speculation until, well, you've seen the movie, because, I mean, I'm not someone that really worries all that much about spoilers, because I don't really care about that, to be honest. Apart from if it had been the Luke Skywalker cameo in The Mandalorian, that would have been annoying if that had been spoiled before I got to watch it. But this, I'm a bit like, okay, it's interesting. They're going back in time. We've seen the Flash do it before in these movies, so I'm mildly interested to see if that's the case. If it's not, I don't mind. But 4 hours, something's going to be different. Something's going to happen. So maybe that's it. But let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to the Birds of Prey director, Kathy Yan, revealed that she did not have full creative control over her movie, which is Birds of Prey. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I actually think Birds of Prey is one of my favorite DC Comics movies made in recent years. I know people are going to be saying, like, what the hell are you on about? Because a lot of people think that Birds of Prey was terrible. I personally thought it was just a lot of fun. I know there are problems with it, but it's just one of those things. It's like not every superhero movie is perfect. I thought the final act was pretty poor, but I really enjoyed Margot Robbie's performance. I thought the Birds of Prey were brilliant, and I really, really loved Ewan McGregor in that movie. I thought he was a great villain. But the final third is not good. But there are some. There's the scene in which Harley Quinn goes to the police precinct, which is fantastic. And of course, that was actually filmed, I believe, by that was a reshoot, I believe, most of that. And I think it was the John Wick director that did that. So this is what she's talking about, really. She said that she didn't really have creative control. This was she revealed this in an interview with The Playlist and on their podcast, which you should go and have a listen to. Their podcast is brilliant, actually. And she said, I think when you're dealing with a budget like Birds of Prey, had the sort of pressures of a studio, especially a studio that is undergoing a lot of change, inevitably you end up having to compromise and fight for stuff. And you win some and you lose a lot. It's just kind of how it is. I would have loved to have more control over the edit, but that's just kind of how it is. I don't know if there's a Kathy Yan cut out there, but I think for any filmmaker, all of us are in it because we want to express ourselves as wholly as possible and to match what you ultimately see on screen with what's in your heart. So she's actually talking exactly about what I was mentioning before, which is that she would love to see like her initial vision put on the big screen, but she didn't get to because of studio interference. So in some cases, studio interference isn't actually necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes, people that have a step back can take a step back from you as the director can actually see things a bit clearer. Unfortunately, it's not always the case because a lot of it is down to just a lot of screen testings and things like that, which do get in the way because they're asking kind of everyday people what they think about this film and so on and so forth. To be honest, asking people like that, I know they're supposedly representative of the audience, but those sorts of things I don't really think work for me, although some people swear by it. I've heard people in the past really say, like directors say, that they love screen testing their movies because it lets them to kind of figure out things. But more often than not, like a big studio might not do it the best way, and they might put too much emphasis on things like screen testings and things like that. And then there are a lot of executives that get in the way, and then you end up with something like Joss Whedon's Justice League or The Suicide Squad, which was awful. Birds of Prey, I think they might have panicked a bit. I think they thought that the action sequences weren't punchy enough, which is fair enough, which is why they brought in, I can't remember his name, it was the director I'm pretty sure it was the director of John Wick that they brought in. But it's just one of those things. It's like Kathy Yan is a fantastic director. She directed a film called Dead Pigs, which was brilliant. It is really good. If you have the chance, go and check that out because I really, really think it's a fantastic movie. But it seems as though this might have been a bit too big for her, like early on in her career, like a big studio blockbuster, and that she didn't really realize what she was in for. She thought she would have more creative freedom over the film, which I think, to be honest, is the final film. It doesn't stink of studio interference to me. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like it very much, but I think actually it's a relatively decent film. And as far as DC Comics movies are concerned, I'd actually say Birds of Prey is far better than Wonder Woman 1984, than Batman vs Superman. I'd put it on the same level as Man of Steel, to be honest. I think it's better than that. I think it's a lot better than Joss Whedon's Justice League. So I actually think it's one of the better films out there. I think maybe Aquaman 2, Shazam, and Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, are better films than it. Aquaman 2 for different reasons, because I think that film is just mad and beautiful in its own way, and it's pure insanity. I think that film is quite interesting. But no, I really did enjoy Birds of Prey. I know a lot of you guys might not agree with me, and do let me know if you think I'm barking up the wrong tree here and think I'm absolutely crazy by saying that I actually like the Birds of Prey movie. Let me know in the comments below. Right, moving on to Timothée Chalamet, and it's being rumoured that he's up for a role in the MCU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Timothée Chalamet is one of my favourite actors, and I think he's really, really going to be huge. I think he's going to be massive. He's already pretty big at the moment, but he's coming out. He's going to be playing Paul Atreides. I think that's how you say his last name, in June, and that's going to be massive for him. But then after that, he's got the French Dispatch, which he did a while back actually. That's a Wes Anderson film, and he's just got a lot of stuff up. He's playing Bob Dylan in the film. What's the film called? The film's called Going Electric, and he's in Don't Look Up, which is Adam McKay's just mad film that has an insane cast. So he is really, really going places. And there have been lots of rumors about him being attached to certain projects. And now we got this covered as saying that Marvel Studios is very interested in casting him in the MCU. Now, they say that it's for an undisclosed role, or an unspecified role is the word they put. Usually roles tend to be undisclosed quite early on, for the general public, but casting directors know what they're doing, and they want to keep these things under wraps, especially when it's Marvel. But I was thinking, which characters would he be good for in the MCU? And there are a lot of them, but the one that I came up with, and actually it kind of ties in with WandaVision, is Wiccan. So Wiccan is Wanda Maximoff's son, and he's Speed's twin brother. So there've already been rumors that Speed might actually be played by Evan Peters. So if you have been watching WandaVision, then you'll know that the twins were born, and remarkably quickly, which means that their growth rate might be a lot quicker than normal. So we might actually end up getting to see them kind of in their 20s. In this show, maybe some people have said, but I think probably later on. I do think they're going to bring those two characters into the MCU at some point, and I think he'd be brilliant for it. There are other characters that he could play. He could be a villain. I think he'd be a really good villain, but I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think he would benefit the MCU more being a hero rather than villain. He could very well be a member of the X-Men. I think he'd be really good for that. I think that would be really, really interesting. There are some roles that I'm not so sure he'd be perfect for in the MCU. For instance, Johnny Storm, I don't think he'd be very good for. I think he'd be someone magical if they're going to be casting him. I think he'd be good at that. And he could be a great young Loki. I think he'd be a fantastic young Loki. I think that'd be really cool to see him play that sort of role. But what do you guys think about this? Is this something that you're interested in? Is the idea of seeing but is the idea of seeing Timothée Chalamet in the MCU something that kind of makes you excited? Is that an actor that you'd like to see be brought into the MCU? It sounds like Marvel Studios are thinking of bringing him into it. I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige would love to have an actor of Timothée Chalamet's quality, and in the MCU they really do cast very, very well, and they're very careful about who they cast in the MCU because they had problems in the past with Edward Norton was one. Then the guy that originally played Rhodes, which I'm blanking on his name now. When he was, I can't remember now. Don Cheadle plays the character now, but I can't remember the name of the actor that originally plays him. That's not good. Terrence Howard. It just came to me. Terrence Howard that played Rhodey in the first Iron Man, and then people saying that it might have been Ike Perlmutter that took that decision to have him recast, but apparently he asked for too much money, and then they just didn't want to pay him, and then they brought in Don Cheadle. Apparently Ike Perlmutter said that they wouldn't, the audiences wouldn't notice which is not good. Audiences did notice it was a change, but Don Cheadle's a brilliant enough actor to be able to carry that through and just make the role his own, which he's done now. And there's a bit of news involving Don Cheadle in a bit. Right, but what do you guys think about Timothée Chalamet playing a role in the MCU? Let me know in the comments. Right, final bit of movie news, and then we'll move on to TV stuff. Robert Pattinson is reportedly in talks to play an infamous serial killer. So this comes from Giant Freaking Robot again. And this is a really interesting one because they're saying that he's up for a role in a Martin Scorsese movie. So the role is for H.H. Holmes, was a serial killer, and the film is called The Devil in the White City. So if you know, well, first off, I'm going to say I'm talking about two of my favorite actors, Timothée Chalamet and now Robert Pattinson. I think he's brilliant. I even think he was good in those Twilight films. I think as Edward Cullen, he did the very best he could with that role and within that franchise. But ever since then, he's really made an effort to kind of explore the world of independent cinema. And he's been in fantastic films like he was in Good Time with the Safdie brothers, which was directed by the Safdie brothers. He was in two Cronenberg films that were Cosmopolis and The Maps Beyond the Stars was another one he was in. Cosmopolis for him was the big one. Then recently he was in High Life, which is a Claire Denis film. So he's been in these really fascinating movies, and of course Tenet recently with Christopher Nolan, and now he's going to be playing the Batman, of course directed by Matt Reeves. The reason I'm mentioning the directors here is because that for him is very, very important. Is directors. He would rather work with a director for him the director is more important than the role. So he said that he had a list of directors that he wanted to work with after having been in the Twilight franchise, and he gave it to his agent and said, I want to work with these people. And on that list, I think he had Claire Denis, he had the Safdie brothers, he had David Cronenberg, Werner Herzog, Christopher Nolan, and I believe Martin Scorsese was on that list. So it seems as though he might be about to bag one of his dream directors. I think for him, Claire Denis was a big thing. Apparently, before he was cast in High Life, he was just emailing her constantly, pleasing with her to get him cast in one of her movies. And that just to me shows something quite fascinating about him as an individual and as an actor. He is very much director first. I just want to work with these people. He of course takes some interesting roles in The Lost City of Z, for instance. The role was just brilliant, and he was really interested in that. And the director, I think, was a director he was interested in working with as well. But it looks like that's one of the reasons why I was so excited when he agreed to play the Batman, because it meant that this project must have been interesting enough to have someone like Robert Pattinson want to be in it. Of course, Matt Reeves is a brilliant director. We know that from the Planet of the Apes movies and Cloverfield. So he is someone that that Pattinson seems to really want to work with as well. So this is interesting. The idea of someone of Pattinson's caliber playing H.H. Holmes, the real life serial killer in a Martin Scorsese film, is something that I'm really, really excited about. When I talk, the last two actors I've spoken about, Timothée Chalamet and Robert Pattinson, I do believe they're on a kind of they're about to be kind of on a real upward trajectory, which they already are. I mean, but I do see someone like Pattinson and someone like Chalamet as actors that could be in the just like the greatest actors of all time kind of lists come when I'm say 70 years old, that those two actors could definitely be in those lists. But let me know what you think about this. This is something that you're interested in seeing. Is the idea of seeing someone like Robert Pattinson playing a serial killer, is that something that excites you? It really is something that makes me excited. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Right, moving on to TV news. So WandaVision's secret Luke Skywalker-esque cameo has reportedly been revealed. So this comes from Giant Freaking Robot. And before I talk about this, spoiler warning, big spoiler warning, because this could be actually a spoiler. But then again, this kind of is like a bit of a no-brainer to a certain extent. So they're claiming, again, spoilers, they're claiming that the big Luke Skywalker-esque cameo is going to be Doctor Strange. So I'm a bit skeptical about this because I'm pretty sure that Doctor Strange is going to be in the series anyway. I was kind of, let's say 70% sure from the beginning that he would turn up. And it's not really a Luke Skywalker-esque cameo for me. It's not like, oh my God, it's him kind of Doctor Strange moment. I mean, it'd be cool. It would be cool. But for me, I was really thinking of other characters that you might not immediately think would be turning up in this. And that's why I was kind of leaning more towards Magneto. But, I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It's all speculation. I've just been told some things about certain characters turning up in relatively small parts. But as far as Doctor Strange is concerned, I was already pretty much sure that he was going to be in the show. But I would like to see him in it. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a brilliant actor, and of course, WandaVision is reportedly going to be the start of a kind of unofficial trilogy of multiverse movies, multiverse projects, which includes WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and then ends with Doctor Strange 2. So it would make sense for either Doctor Strange or Spider-Man turning up in this. I think it made more sense given the type of show it is for Doctor Strange to turn up. But I'm excited about this if it's true. I mean, again, as I said before, I don't really care too much about spoilers. I think a show or a movie should be better than its twists. And then it's secret cameos, and therefore, like if it serves as a story, then yeah, fine. I think Jacques Schrafer, I think she's a brilliant showrunner, really, really clever person, and someone that has thought long and hard about this. So if any characters turn up, well, when they do, because she said there will be some surprises along the way, there will be a reason for them turning up. It won't just be for to please the fans, basically. There will be a reason why Magneto might turn up, or Ultron might turn up, or Evan Peters' Quicksilver might turn up, or Doctor Strange might turn up, or even Wolverine, for that matter. Actually, Hugh Jackman turning up as Wolverine would be a Luke Skywalker moment. That would be a bigger moment for me than, let's say, Benedict Cumberbatch turning up as Doctor Strange, which kind of everyone knows is going to happen anyway. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to Don Cheadle, which is a story I teased before. So he's actually revealed that he will be playing War Machine in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is pretty good news, actually. That show is coming out in August, I believe, and it's already gearing up to be a very, very interesting show, a bit of a spy show, very different from WandaVision. But he was talking to Bro Bible, which is actually a website I wasn't familiar with. It sounds like the American version of Lad Bible, which it probably is. But here's what he said. He said, that's some of the fun of the MCU, that we all get to show up in each other's stories, and there are ways that we're cross-platforming these characters, and they become storylines sometimes in the movies. And then in these storylines in the movies become storylines in the shows. It's really fun and interesting, and by all imagination, completely open-ended. This can go anywhere. It's great, and I can't wait to be in the room with the writers and figure out how all those things connecting Armor Wars to the MCU happen. Rhodey shows up in Winter Soldier, and Falcon's show, so it can be a lot. So I don't know if he realized what he just revealed there, because that wasn't actually official. There was no official kind of confirmation that War Machine was going to be in that show. So I actually think that was a mistake on his behalf, and I'm pretty sure Marvel Studios is a bit annoyed about that. But I think it's cool. I think it's cool that he's coming. Again, Marvel's very good at keeping things under wraps, and I'm not very spoiler averse, let's say. I think it's fine if things get spoiled, but I know that there are people out there that want to keep surprises to a minimum, well, to a maximum, sorry. And that's good as well. I can kind of see that I'm kind of sitting on the fence, I know, but I personally, I'm not someone that's like, oh my God, I can't believe you spoiled this, but I do understand why people are like that, and that's fine. And, at Small Screen, we do try and keep spoilers to an absolute minimum, and if we do put spoilers in articles, we do give people massive warnings. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about War Machine turning up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the comments. Right, Ewan McGregor has confirmed that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series will start shooting this spring, and it will be shooting in LA, not in the UK. So there have been lots of tabloids in the UK saying that they're going to be shooting Kenobi in the United Kingdom. Turns out not to be the case. Ewan McGregor was talking to Eddie Izzard, who's been doing interviews whilst doing marathons, which is really strange. He's been running on a running machine, running marathons, and was talking to Ewan McGregor whilst running a marathon. So it sounds like he needs the support. Ewan McGregor revealed that they were going to be shooting in the spring in LA. So this is what he said. He said, "We start making it in late spring, and we're going to shoot it here in LA. And not, it's so funny, every week there's a new report. My dad was sending me links saying, I thought you were shooting in LA, because there's another tabloid exposing that we're shooting in some bizarre town somewhere. Then we're meant to be making it in Boston, and then we're meant to be making it, no, it wasn't Boston, it was Boston, England, but we're not, we're shooting it in LA. So, I mean, it sounds to me like, so first off, this is a show that I'm really excited for. It's going to be directed, and I think she's the showrunner as well, by Deborah Chow, who directed 2 episodes, I believe, of The Mandalorian Season 1. She is brilliant. This show was going to start filming a long time ago, actually, and then they kind of decided to rewrite the scripts. So they took it back to the drawing board, and then the pandemic happened. So that's why we've been waiting so long for this to start shooting. Deborah Chow is brilliant. Ewan McGregor is brilliant. And I am very, very excited for this. I think the Cassian Andor series is filming at the moment, and the Book of Boba Fett are the 2 shows that are filming at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're close to wrapping. At least the Book of Boba Fett is. Cassian Andor, I'm not so sure. And I think that is actually filming in the UK. I think. Don't quote me on that, though. But what do you guys think about that? Are you looking forward to the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? Let me know in the comments. Right, the CW has renewed The Flash, Batwoman, and DC Legends of Tomorrow. I was actually really surprised by this because those shows are kind of in weird areas. Now, Batwoman Season 2 has not been doing well. Not at all. DC Legends of Tomorrow has been doing okay, and The Flash is now on its, Season 7 just finished. So that's a lot of seasons. So basically, Batwoman Season 3 has been confirmed. DC Legends of Tomorrow Season 7 has been confirmed. And The Flash Season 8 has been confirmed, along with the likes of All American, Charmed, Dynasty, In the Dark, Legacies, Nancy Drew, Riverdale, Roswell, New Mexico. They're all the shows that they've renewed. So they do still have some shows at the CW, which is good. It's early to announce that they're renewing these things. But, I mean, I think these will probably be the final seasons of these DC Comics shows, I'm pretty sure, because Warner Brothers wants to start making more of these shows on HBO Max, and they probably want to bring them all over to HBO Max and kind of not do the CW stuff. But that's just my opinion. That's not based on like any insider sources or anything like that. I just think that's probably what they should do. Because these shows have been running for a long time, and Batwoman hasn't been doing well, which is a bit of a worry. I watched the first episode and thought it was fine, but a lot of people really didn't like that first episode, which is understandable. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, John Barrowman has told The Express, which is the company I used to work for, that he thinks Ollie Alexander from It's a Sin should be the next Doctor Who, or the next Doctor in Doctor Who. So it was revealed actually by The Mirror, which is they're linked to The Express. I used to work for both companies, and it was revealed that Jodie Whittaker is going to be leaving after season 13, so they're going to have to recast or cast a new Doctor. So that means that loads of people have been putting in, giving their names. So Richard Ayoade, Daniel Kaluuya, Himesh Patel have all been in the running, or names that people have been mentioning. And then Ollie Alexander turns up, who's the singer of Years and Years, and is currently in a show called It's a Sin, which is actually written and it's created by Russell T Davies, who originally was heavily involved, was the showrunner, I believe, of Doctor Who. So it kind of makes sense. And if you watch It's a Sin, then you really do understand why John Barrowman would say that he thinks, he'd be perfect. And of course, he'd be the first gay man, or openly gay man, to be cast as the Doctor, which I think would be brilliant. So he said, it's a sin. There you go. Another pandemic that we went through. And that's why I say get the vaccine. We as gay men and women have been through a pandemic already. 37 million people worldwide have died from HIV and AIDS, and get the vaccine anyway. However, Ollie would be amazing. He's quirky, he's fun, and he's a lovely actor, and I think he'd make a wonderful Doctor. So that was in an interview with The Express, and I think he's right. If you haven't watched It's a Sin, you should go and watch it. It's really a really good show. It's on Channel 4 in the UK. I don't know where it's airing in America, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure about that. But I think Ollie Alexander for the Doctor should be a hashtag that starts trending. I hope it does, because I think he's brilliant. Right, final bit of news. Better Call Saul's final season will start filming in March. So that was revealed by Deadline. I'm going to be honest, that's a show that I haven't watched. I kind of watched Breaking Bad, finished that, and then didn't watch Better Call Saul. I probably should. But that's the final season is coming up, and they're shooting it in March. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow Small Screen everywhere at Small Screen Co. If you listen to this as a podcast, you can. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts at Small Screen Stories. You can go and check out the articles over on the website, which is at small-screen.co.uk. You can follow me on Twitter at EJ Lauder. If you'd like to write for us, you can. You can email me with your pitches at edward@small-screen.co.uk. We do pay our writers, and I love to see all your brilliant work on the site. It's wonderful to see people that are passionate about all things pop culture, and Small Screen is an avenue for people to write and to express themselves and their feelings about shows and movies and stuff like that. And that's a great thing about the site that I do love. And with that, I'll say goodbye. The next show will be on Tuesday. Thank you very much for watching and listening, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and goodbye.